Okay, let's get right into it. Something really interesting is brewing in Islamabad, and it involves two countries that, haven't been on the best of terms for decades, the United States and Iran. We're talking about a potential high-stakes diplomatic dance that could either be a massive breakthrough or, well, a very public failure. So this is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Are these two old rivals really on the verge of holding secret talks? It's like we're watching a diplomatic thriller unfold in real time. You've got confirmed moves on one side and some very deliberate ambiguity on the other. So let's unpack what we actually know for sure. All right, first things first. Let's start with the American side of the equation, because Washington has officially laid its cards on the table. There's no guesswork here. The U.S. is making a very clear, very public move. Now, the specific language here is absolutely key. The White House press secretary didn't just hint at this. She confirmed it. Envoys are heading to Pakistan with the specific purpose of talking with, and I'm quoting here, representatives from the Iranian delegation. I mean, in the world of diplomacy, that's about as direct as it gets. And this isn't some low-level intern meeting either. Nope. The U.S. is sending in the heavy hitters. You've got Steve Witkoff, the special envoy to the Middle East, and Jared Kushner, the special envoy for peace. But here's the real kicker, the part that makes you sit up and pay attention. Vice President J.D. Vance is on standby. You just don't put the VP on standby unless you think there's a very real chance of a major breakthrough. It really signals how seriously the White House is taking this whole thing. Okay, so the U.S. is clearly all in, ready to talk. But what about Iran? Well, this is where the plot thickens. This is what we're calling the diplomatic maybe. And this slide just illustrates the core tension perfectly. Look on the left. The U.S. position is crystal clear. Envoys confirmed, they're on their way for talks, period. But on the right, Iran's position is, well, radio silence. They have not confirmed that they'll even be in the same room as the U.S. delegation. It's a classic diplomatic standoff. So what has Iran actually said publicly? Well, their foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, he's definitely on the move. He's announced what he's calling a timely tour to talk about bilateral matters and regional developments. Notice what's missing from that statement? Yeah, any mention whatsoever of meeting with the Americans. And his itinerary, it's not just a quick stop in Islamabad. He's also hitting Oman and Russia. This whole thing makes it look less like a specific trip to meet the U.S. and more like, a broader regional tour. So you gotta ask, right? Is the stop in Pakistan just a coincidence? Or is it a really carefully planned, totally deniable opportunity for a meeting? So with all this back and forth, all this will they, won't they, you might be asking, what's actually on the line here? Why does this all matter so much? Let's take a look at what could be the grand prize. At the very heart of this potential meeting is one absolutely crucial goal, a ceasefire. And this isn't a minor detail, folks. This would be a landmark step for stability in the entire region. We even know that Iran's foreign minister has already been talking about this exact topic with Pakistan's deputy prime minister, so it's for sure the central issue here. And what's the American tone going into all this? Well, this quote from the U.S. Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, it really tells you everything you need to know. He says Iran has a shot at a good deal, a wise deal, but then he adds that the U.S. has all the time in the world. It's a classic negotiating posture. We're here, we're ready to talk, but we are not desperate. So, where does all of this leave us? The truth is, the situation is incredibly fluid. I mean, we've had major developments happening just in the last few days alone. The world is watching, and what happens next is truly anyone's guess. Just look at the timeline of this week. It's been a total roller coaster. On Tuesday, the original U.S. trip gets postponed, which suggests some kind of snag. Then, on Friday, Iran's foreign minister suddenly announces his regional tour, and just a few hours after that, the White House confirms its envoys are leaving tomorrow morning. This is not your standard pre-planned diplomacy. This is a high-stakes scramble playing out right in front of us. And so what we're left with is this massive diplomatic question mark hanging right over Islamabad. Will these two delegations actually meet? Could this be the beginning of a historic breakthrough that leads to a ceasefire? Or is this all just a case of crossed wires, a big public gamble that ends up as a high-profile misfire? The only thing we know for sure is that right now, the entire world is watching.